Well, hi everybody. Thanks for visiting OceanCore. My name is Lynn and welcome back to our microfiber mini-series, What Am I All About? This is part 3, Where Do I Go? So up to this point in the series, we've learned what a microfiber is. It's a super small multicolored bit of string-looking material made from oil and chemicals. And we've also learned where, or really what, it comes from. Mostly our clothes, furniture, and other household items, to put it simply. Now, today we're continuing the journey of the microfiber by looking at where it goes or ends up after it's retired from or shed from its original mission. We'll look a bit closer at shedding and how the fibers like to travel in the next episode. So, like us, or like we used to be before COVID-19, fibers love to travel, and they travel everywhere. Short trips, long trips, even global treks. Now, most times they come back home, but sometimes they move permanently, and sometimes they never stop traveling. Also, like humans, one of their favorite places to vacation is the ocean. A study done in 2011 by Mark Anthony Brown found that they like to lounge on beaches. All of the sand samples that he took from 6 different continents had microplastics in them, and 85% of the man-made materials or microplastics that were found on these beaches were microfibers from clothes and textiles, all of our household things. Now, another study done by a group of researchers from the University of Strathclyde and the University of Toulouse found that microfibers also enjoy sea breezes. But while it's a calming experience for most of us, it's a carnival ride for them. So off the coast of France, the study found that 19 pieces of microplastics were found in each cubic meter of sea spray air. So imagine what a cubic meter looks like. It's a 3.3 foot box. So imagine this table. It's about 3 feet wide, so a little bit bigger. It needs to come out a little bit more, and it's a little bit taller than me, but that's approximately a cubic square meter of air. And in it, they found 19 pieces of microplastic. There are 19 items on this table, just to give you an idea of what that looks like. Now, the fibers, they think, are basically shot out of the ocean by bubbles when they burst. So imagine the mist coming off the top of a cresting wave. How many other ways can you think of that the ocean or things in it make bubbles? Think about that for a minute. Now, this bubble burst ride seems to be open for fibers that are between 5 and 140 microns in size. Now, remember our size lesson, the 5 microns was about the size of a red blood cell, and 140 microns, although still small, is bigger than that. So that's about the size of the fibers that are taking this bubble burst ride. And where the ride takes them after that is anyone's bet. But many make a soft landing on the beaches, as Mark Anthony Brown discovered. Fibers also love to snorkel or hang out on the surface and watch wildlife, apparently. Where we like to look at coral reefs, NOAA researchers Jameson Gove and Jonathan Whitney found that microfibers actually gravitate towards something called a surface slick. Now, what's a surface slick, you ask? Take a look at this picture. The slicks are the long, smooth, windy lines you see on the surface of the water. They are thin, oily, and chock full of organic bits, eggs, baby fish, and creatures of all kinds trying to eat, grow, and survive. Now, the slick may look like almost nothing to us, but it's one of Ocean Mom's kitchens for baby sea life, and it's really popular among fiber travelers. Grove and Whitney found 130 times more fibers inside the slick than outside the slick. Now, that sounds like a lot, but the fibers are really small. So what does that really look like? So let's take a look at the table here for a little bit of a visual. So outside the slick, they found approximately 3 fish to 1 piece of plastic. Inside the slick, they were looking at 1 fish for 7 pieces of plastic. So 3 fish to 1 plastic, 1 fish to 7 plastic inside the slick. That's quite a difference. Now, microfibers have even taken to diving on their vacations and have found a way to visit the deepest corners of our seafloor, having been spotted at the Marianas Trench, according to a study led by researchers at the University of Manchester in the UK. So scientists in general have a pretty good idea how much plastic ends up floating in the ocean each year. About 8 to 10 million tons floating on the surface here. But when this group looked for all of that floating plastic, they only found about 1% of that still floating, which left them with the question, what happened to the missing 99%? So some have theorized that much of it ends up on the seafloor down here or is making its way down to the seafloor. So the UK study did find that there ended up being 1.9 million pieces of microplastic per square meter. Now that's our 3.3 foot box again, but filled not with 19 pieces of things, but with 1.9 million pieces in that same box. Now, this could be a really strong theory that they are all ending up on the seafloor eventually. But one thing nature has taught me is that everything is connected and it's almost never just one thing or one answer. So let's continuing the fibers tour of the planet. The beach isn't the only place that they like to visit. Floating down the river without a floaty is also an activity that's favored by millions. A study done in 2017 found that 150 million microfibers floated down the Hudson River and into the Atlantic Ocean every day. Another study done in Oregon estimated 57 million pieces passed by Portland, Oregon, my hometown, on the Willamette River floating tour, so to speak. So what are the other favored vacations or activities for microfibers? They enjoy mountain climbing. Microfibers were found at the top of the Himalaya mountains. They also enjoy hiking. The Rosalia Project found high fiber counts in waters near hiking trails on a tributary of the Hudson River, leading them to think that hikers in synthetic clothes could be the source of the fibers in the water. Relaxing in the lake can also be a favored activity. Products made from water gotten out of the Great Lakes also had microfibers in them, a study found. And when they visit these natural places, they also enjoy interacting with wildlife. So far, scientists who have started the studies have found them in plankton, which is the plant base of the ocean food chain, zooplankton, which is the animal base of the food ocean chain. They found microplastics in sea cucumbers, shore crabs, lugworms, crabs, farmed and wild mussels, oysters, market fish, and wild fish. And this is just to name a few because they've only just started looking. Now, that's a lot of traveling and a lot of things to think about. If you'd like to read more about any of these studies, check the video's description for sources and links, and join me next Thursday at 2:30 for the next episode where we'll look at how microfibers get to all of these wonderful places. Thanks for being here. Subscribe to OceanCore's YouTube channel so you don't miss a thing. And most importantly, whatever you learn, share it forward. I'll see you next time.